Dwight Howard, is he worth the price of admission? In my opinion, looking at his situation right now, coming off of the season in Houston, no, I don't think so at all. Dwight Howard has fallen so far from his years, his glory years in Orlando. I feel like he, at this point, is kind of going off his name. He's still a good player, don't get me wrong, but that's it. He's a good player. He isn't somebody that is magnificent or somebody you build a strategy for when you go into games. He's not that same player anymore. Um, if you look at his stats during his best years, they were all in Orlando. In 07, 08, Dwight Howard averaged 20.7 points per game, 14.2 rebounds a game, and 2.1 blocks. The next season followed up 20.6 points per game, 13.8 rebounds, 2.9 blocks. And the next year after that, although it was a dip in point production with 18.3 points per game, he brought in 13.2 rebounds and 2.8 blocks per game. And either he, during those 3 years I mentioned, either he was averaging 60% at the 2 point land inside the 3 point line, or he was around it. Even following up the next season, 22.9, 14.1 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks, which probably was his best season. Then you ship him to LA. Was supposed to be this major key, no DJ Khaled pun intended. It's supposed to be this major key for the Lakers to win a championship. Coming off those high years in Orlando, he was looked at as somebody who could bring the Lakers back to where they are used to being, which is a championship. And honestly, it just didn't work out with him, Steve Nash, and Kobe. They just didn't click. His production wasn't high, and it just was completely a mess. In this final season in Orlando, he averaged 20.6 points, 14.5 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks per game. That dipped in LA to 17.1, 12.4, and 2.4 blocks per game, which isn't bad for any other player, but for somebody of Dwight Howard's skill set, and him being only 27 years old, you would expect a lot more. You expect a lot more dominant player to play, and he was relatively healthy, playing and starting in 76 games. Played 36 minutes a game, so he was getting a playing time. It's just that he didn't fit, and that was really the beginning of the end for the Lakers as we knew it. That dominant team that constantly got to the finals, that team was gone. And I feel like the issues that Dwight Howard and Kobe had, it led to it. Obviously, injuries from Steve Nash and things like that helped, but the two biggest stars on the team not meshing didn't help at all. Ship him to Houston, and you think that it would be a lot better for Dwight Howard, and he'll rebound and things like that from where he was with the Lakers. And on paper and on stats wise, he regressed. He didn't get any better. Still playing 34 minutes a game. He only averaged 18, 12, and 2, which it's not bad, like I said, but if you're paying somebody that much money, you need to bring more production than that. And he was a person that was capable of bringing that production. Next year, 16, 11, and 1.3 blocks per game. Putrid. Bad. For the player that he was supposed to be, that's not that great. For how much he's getting paid and how much he was playing. He was injured that season, but still, when he played, he was averaging 30 minutes per game. And last season, which I think was a bottom of the barrel for Dwight Howard, he averaged 14, 12, and 1.6 blocks. And that right there shows that as he has gotten older from 27 when he was with the Lakers to 30 right now, he has regressed. And you wouldn't think that somebody who was supposed to be this mega star would do such a thing, because usually at 27, obviously it varies, but usually at 27, somebody is in their prime. The players in their prime, that's supposed to be the best years. LeBron James, those was his best years. Kobe Bryant, his best years around that age. Jordan, all of that, best years around that age. Dwight Howard, those were his worst years. And since those 4 years were his most recent years in the NBA, I can't justify that being Dwight Howard being worth the ticket price, because he's going to ask for a lot of money. And that's a fact. It's going to go off his name. It's going to go off his accomplishments from way back when in 2010, 2011 with Orlando. And I feel bad for the team that signs him, honestly, because you're going to get a good player, but you're going to overspend tremendously for him. And outside of his diminishing, production, you have to look at how he meshes with the team. And I feel like Dwight Howard is he's a diva, really, because it's a simple fact. The simple fact is, he never really meshed with anybody, no matter where he's been. Orlando, Stan Van Gundy was a big issue. He got fired simply because, and people will disagree or agree, whatever. That's an opinion. That's my opinion. But he got fired because the fit with Dwight Howard just wasn't there. And to keep a mega star, you're going to do whatever the mega star wants. And Dwight Howard didn't like Stan Van Gundy. They could have pretended all they want. It just didn't mesh. Stan Van Gundy left, was fired, whatever you want to call it, because him and Dwight Howard didn't mesh. Lakers, like I said before, him and Kobe just didn't get along. The chemistry of that team just was not there at all whatsoever. So that's another strike. Or Dwight Howard kind of ruining a team chemistry. And you ruin team chemistry, the team wasn't going to get far, so you ruin a team chances to win a title. Go to Houston. James Harden and himself. I remember when he first got there were stories about, and I don't know how true it is, but the stories are out there about how it was basically him and James Harden and the rest of the team, and nobody else really could mess with them. It was kind of a separation of I'm above you type thing, and that's another strike against him as far as his character. When you see him in person and you see him on these TV shows, he seems like this. He seems like a cool guy. He seems like a guy that you could talk to easily and things like that. But on the court and when he's on the teams, for some reason, it seems like a diva side comes out of him. And it seems like a side where he just demands so much and wants it to be about him. It seems like it's a me and nobody else type situation with Dwight Howard. And if you want to win on a team, that cannot happen. And at 30 years old, for playing in the league for 11 years, unless he gets tremendously humbled, that won't change. Old habits are hard to break, and that's a long habit of being a team killer, essentially. And that's another reason. You lump his production with him being basically a team killer, a team chemistry killer at least, that would prevent me, if I was a GM, that would prevent me from wanting to even come close to Dwight Howard, especially for his asking price, because he's going to ask for about $20 million a season at least, based off his name. So honestly, I feel like Dwight Howard is at this point overrated, and if I was a team, he could stay at home because I just don't need that type of vibe with my team if I'm trying to accomplish the big goal of winning the title. Because having Dwight Howard on your team, whether he goes to the East or the West, he's not knocking off San Antonio with whatever team he has. He's not going to knock off the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's not going to knock off the Warriors, the Thunder. If they keep Durant, he's not knocking off the Thunder. It's just how it is. But let me know what you guys think. That's all I have to say. Dwight Howard, I don't think he's worth the asking price. Like, comment, and share, subscribe. Thank you for listening.